Hi there. My name is Dan Michaels, and I'm with Prairie Display Chicago, and we have been producing trade show exhibits since 1994. And today I'm here because of the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is now that COVID 19 has canceled and postponed trade shows and other face to face meetings of all kinds, what are exhibitors doing in place of this? What are they doing to fill that gap? To find out, Prairie Display has been interviewing clients and industry professionals to shed some light on this unprecedented situation and basically to share personal experiences. So today I have Kent Dahlgren, who is currently the general manager at Seismic Solutions. And Kent and I met through a program at Elmhurst University where I was studying business management, and Kent was my mentor. At the time, he was the president of a mid-sized firm, and from my standpoint, it was an amazing way to learn about management and sales from a very successful professional. And here we are, still staying in touch today. So Kent, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for inviting me.
I'd like to start by asking you to talk about your time at Victor Envelope, then being involved with Elmhurst University, and now your current role at Seismic Solutions.
Sure. I started at Victor. It was actually a summer job prior to graduating from college. And then when I graduated, I took a full-time opportunity there. And it was great for me to actually, in some ways, continue my education. I learned a lot, worked with a lot of smart people, a lot of really good people. And I was blessed in that it seemed like every time I was ready for a new opportunity, there's something opened up for me to advance and grow professionally. So it was really a great experience. And I started volunteering, I think at Elmhurst in probably the mid 90s, doing guest lecturing and interviewing skill type things and professional development seminars, that type of stuff. And then I joined the board, I think around 6 years ago. And now professionally, as you mentioned, I'm general manager of Seismic Solutions. We're out in Lisle, Illinois, and we're a consulting firm. And what we've done is create an ecosystem of partners that help us execute in a couple of different areas. We have supply chain setup and improvement. We do packaging development. We do packaging innovation and renovation. We have a packaging engineer on staff. We help companies with business development. And then we also help companies who are early in pre-revenue with commercialization, which is really cool. We get to work with new brand owners and entrepreneurs, and that's really fun. And then last, we're working on a sustainable packaging initiative with a Swedish company called Pulpac. And they've created a dry molded fiber technology that's going to hopefully replace a lot of single-use plastics. So it's another really cool initiative we're working on.
It does sound like a really cool thing to be on the cutting edge of. So can you tell me how COVID has disrupted your company or industry specifically, and perhaps what you've had to do differently to accomplish your goals?
Yeah, I would say that starting in March of last year, when everybody was kind of scrambling to work from home, it did push some projects back. We have some new brand owners that had launches planned in that time frame, second quarter of last year, and didn't want to introduce a new product right in the middle of that chaos. So those got pushed back. And I think it generally slowed down business activity because we were all just sorting out how to work remotely and how to do Teams calls and Zoom calls like we're doing now, and just what normal looked like during that. In addition to all it was scary too. You didn't know where that was headed. So I would say that slowed down last year. But I would say by the end of last year, we're adaptable. It's what we always do. So it kind of became more normal. I think the fear decreased a little bit, and it kind of got back to normal. And obviously the hope and promise of a vaccine gives people reasons to believe that we can get back to closer to what old normal was some point this year, hopefully.
Yeah, the vaccine is, huge news for all of us, and I think it's a reason to be really optimistic about the whole situation in general. So Next, I'd like to talk about your experience with physical trade shows, at least when they were going on before all of this, and your thoughts on how valuable those face-to-face events are in general.
I think they're huge. The last trade show I went to was Pack Expo in Vegas, and it was fantastic. It was one of the best shows I've been to because I did my pre-show homework, so I went there with a hit list of people that I wanted to either meet for the first time. I'd been interacting on the phone with them, or in some cases, I had very unique products that I wanted to find sources for. So I had picked some places to stop and meet some people that I thought could help with that, and it was great. It was great FaceTime with people. I actually found the product that I was looking for, and I thought that one was unique because I wasn't sure if we were going to start a relationship maybe with somebody on the other side of the planet to get this component. And oddly enough, it was a company locally, which was a crazy coincidence to be,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
find a Chicago company when I thought
Right.
might be dealing with somebody on the other side of the planet. But so it works out great. I think they're huge. I mean, of all the different ways to interact, obviously it's the most personal when you can get FaceTime with somebody. I mean, you can exchange information. You can do, sometimes intros kind of come up spur of the moment when you're at a show and you're talking to somebody and they ask you a question and if somebody at the show they should talk to, you can walk them right up to the booth and introduce them. So it's a great opportunity to interact, connect, build rapport. And then in addition to that, you think of all the pre and post show, whether it's meeting somebody for breakfast or happy hour at the show or dinner or an event after the show. There are just a lot of opportunities for networking there. And it's great to be around people that have the same professional interests and goals too.
Next, I'd like to move on to virtual events and to see if you had any experience with this. Virtual events have been going on basically in place of the physical events to basically fill that gap until we can meet together again. So it'd be interesting
I
to
have
hear that.
not attended any of those. Last year I did. I got some feedback from some people that said that it's difficult because it's not the same again as meeting face to face. I actually accidentally called somebody during a show and they said, "Oh, I'm manning the booth at fill in the blank show right now," and I apologized. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Why? I don't want to interrupt that." And I said, "No, I kind of have time, so for whatever that's worth it." Um, uh, I'm not sure how great those went. You had to try it just to see if that you could replicate the experience. I'm sure from an education point of view, whether you're sitting in an exhibitor hall, listening to a seminar, or doing it via, this type of a scenario, it's probably just about the same. But I just think it's probably more difficult to get the traffic that you would get on a face-to-face event. And again, the connection that you can get from talking to people.
So speaking of that, when do you think trade shows will come back? And will they be different in a post-COVID world?
Well, it would seem that maybe later this year with the vaccination, depending on how that gets rolled out and how it's prioritized, that maybe by Q4 that could happen again. It seems like travel's occurring now without any major challenges. So hopefully in the fourth quarter, will they be different? I think again, we always are evolving and adapting. So I think they will be different in some ways. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe the handshake's dead now due to the, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Maybe we never needed it. I don't know.
The hand sanitizer, people are hoping it's not, but we'll see. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out when it starts up again.
I really want to thank you for your time. I always like hearing your experiences, and I hope we can connect soon, face to face in real life. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks, Dan, and thanks for all the work that you've done for us over the years too. We appreciate you guys have a passion for your product, and it shows. So we appreciate it.
No, thank you for saying that.